Welcome back. In this video, you're going to learn how to audit a website's page titles. There's 5 main things which you want to keep in mind when auditing a page title, which are number 1, you want to keep the page title under 60 characters in length. Now that does include spaces as well. Number 2, you want to get your keyword towards the front of the title tag, as words towards the front of the title tag carry more SEO weight. Number 3, you want to write naturally. Now, hopefully that is pretty obvious, but trust me, you'll be surprised at how many people go out there and write unnatural title tags simply because they're trying to keyword stuff the title. Number 4, you want to include single words and variations too. For example, if you are targeting the keyword SEO consultant New York, then another variation of the word consultant could be consulting. Same way if you were trying to rank for SEO expert, you could go for SEO specialist. These are all different word variations of the same word. Number 5, you want to avoid repeating words. So this is the same logic which we apply to website URLs as well. So those are the 5 things you need to follow. However, instead of me just giving you the theory, you know I always like to go the extra mile and make sure this course is super actionable. So let's head back over to Screaming Frog and I'll show you exactly how this is done with a real-time walkthrough step by step. So for this video, we're going to be using the same website we used in the previous video for URLs. I do already have the website loaded into Screaming Frog, as you would have saw from the last video. But essentially, as we are looking at the website's page titles, all we need to do is change the tab from URL to page titles. And now we can see all the page titles for this specific website. So it's exactly the same process. You want to go ahead and export all the data and then review it in a spreadsheet. I mean, you can review it here, but like I said in the last video, it can be a little bit cumbersome to see exactly what's going on. And if any of your page titles need to be rewritten, it's way better to do it in an actual spreadsheet so you can keep track of everything in one place, making it really easy to action when it comes to actually cleaning up your website. So let's go ahead and export all this data under page titles. I'll go for CSV as my file type once again and click save. Once you open up that spreadsheet, it's going to look pretty similar to this. You've got a few columns. You've got the website URL, which is the address. You've got occurrences. You've got the actual page title itself. We have the page title length. We have the pixel width as well. And we have the indexability. And just as a side note, I have actually cleaned up this file first, as like I said in the last video, we did have a lot of duplicates coming through with HTTP and HTTPS URLs, purely because this website hasn't done the SEO correctly. But essentially all I've done is I've removed the HTTP versions so we can focus on just one version of the website. So first things first, what you want to do is tidy up the spreadsheet and remove all the columns which you don't need. So we don't need this column right here, column B for occurrences, as they should all say number 1, which as you can see, that's exactly what the website says. So just be sure to double check you only have one occurrence of this URL and this title tag. If you have multiple occurrences, then it basically means you have 2 URLs on your website talking about exactly the same thing. So let's go ahead and delete that. We don't need to see this column right here, the pixel width. That can be deleted. And the last column, indexability, well, all the URLs are actually indexable, as you can see, so we don't need that whatsoever. So essentially, all we need is 3 columns. We need the address, the page title, and the page title length. So what I like to do is go ahead and make all of these in bold. I then like to go over to view and freeze the top row. So just when you scroll, this is always going to be in view. Now we've tidied up our spreadsheet, the second thing which I like to do is quickly add a filter so I can see all the title tags which are over 60 characters in length, as like I said, you want to make sure your title tag is under 60 characters, otherwise it's just going to get cut off by Google. So to find all these title tags which are over 60 in length, very easy. Once again, all you need to do is go over to your title tag. I'm going to come under to data, add a filter, and then click this drop down arrow. And then what you want to do on this little box, you want to change from choose 1 to greater than, and then literally enter in 60, as that is our limit. And the spreadsheet is going to show us all the title tags which are over 60 characters in length. So essentially what you want to do is go through all of these title tags one by one and rewrite them, following the list of things that I gave you in the PowerPoint slides. So let's go ahead and apply that to the first 3 URLs at the top, just to give you an idea of exactly how this would work in the real world. So the first URL is for a waste removal page. We can see the title tag right here. We know it's over 60 characters. So the first thing which you want to go and do is condense this title tag and make it more concise. However, before you go ahead and do that, it's always a good idea to actually take the website URL, go over to Google and land on that URL as you was an actual customer, just so you can get a good idea of exactly what the page is about and have a look at the actual content of the page as well. So we can see this page is all about waste removal services in London. That is most likely the keyword they are targeting, as of course this company is based in London. You can see they've got best price gardeners in London as well. We've got London here as well. We've got London here again, waste removal. Okay, so I have a clear understanding of what this page is about. It's literally a page about waste removal services in London. Quite self-explanatory. So that's always good to know and to keep in the back of your mind when it comes to rewriting these title tags. So just from looking at these title tags, I've already noticed one thing. That is that every single title tag ends with the same text. You've got professional gardening and landscaping services in London. You've got the same text right here. You've got it again below. You've got it again. You've got it again. You've got it here, here. Literally every single page title has this. Now, if you see this, what it means is probably some code added to the theme on the website. And whilst it might look good for a web developer or someone who's making a website, it's not really good for an SEO aspect whatsoever. Two reasons: because all your title tags are going to be very similar, and number two, it's going to drastically increase the length of your title tag. As you can see, it's done in all of these instances right here. So let's go ahead and start to rewrite some of these title tags. I'll take the top one. What I like to do is add a new column, and I'll put new title tag. I simply like to copy the title tag we already have. Then I like to make it a little bit smaller just so I can actually see my new title tag. I'm going to remove this part right at the end as it doesn't need to be there. I want to do one thing now, just double check the character length of this title tag. Go over to wordcounter.net. We're currently at 53 characters. I will include a link to this in the resources as well, but this is a tool I like to use just to see how long a title tag is. 53, all good. Best waste removal services in London. Green at Home is obviously the brand name. The next thing to check is that if they have the keyword towards the front of the title tag. So it's very clear that this page is targeting the keyword waste removal services London. You can see they've got the keyword right here, waste removal services in London. They do have the word best at the start of the title tag. However, as it's only one word, it doesn't really matter. And actually having the word best in this instance is going to help them stand out from the competition. The third thing we want to check is that if the title tag is written naturally, which it is indeed, you can see it says best waste removal services in London, green at home. You will see a lot of people taking out these filler words such as in, and what you'll see is the title tag will be best waste removal services London. I mean, that's not the best English. You ideally want to have the word in there for sure. Excuse the pun. And don't worry about trying to have all your keywords right next to each other, as long as you have the individual and single keyword variations in there as well, which we do in this instance, you have nothing to worry about. The fifth and final thing to check is that if we repeat any of the words, well, we don't. We have waste mentioned once, we have removal mentioned once, and we have London mentioned once as well. So this is a really good title tag, and it's much better than what we had before. So let's move on to the second one, which by the looks of it seems to be a URL for the category and buying products page. So it's going to be pretty straightforward for this one. So I'm actually going to go ahead and skip that, and I'll do another one of the service pages, which seems to be for the landscaping page. So once again, I will copy the old one and copy it here. I then want to go ahead and take this URL, go over to Google and then land on this URL just to see what the page is about. So once again, it is all to do with London, and it's all about the services which is specializing in landscaping. So the main keyword seems to be landscaping services in London. They've got high quality garden landscaping in London. So it could be garden is another potential keyword. So in this instance, when you're not sure what the best keyword is it landscaping services London, or is it gardening services London? If you have any doubt whatsoever, the best thing to do is to carry out a little bit of keyword research and see which keyword has the most searches, as you want to optimize your page around the keyword, which is the most popular keyword. So all I've done is I've gone into SEMrush, I've typed in landscaping London, and as you can see, we've got all the keyword variations popping up right here. We have London landscape, we have landscape gardeners London, so not gardening, we have gardeners, so a different variation. And as this keyword is showing to me with 720 searches, it's very clear and it's a very strong signal that this is the bulk keyword that I want to optimize that page for. where if we go back to our spreadsheet, you can see at present it's optimized for gardening and landscaping services. So we definitely want to go ahead and get this rewritten. So what I'm going to do is simply copy this main keyword, copy it from the left to the right. Oh, I've copied quite a lot. Okay, I can't copy for some reason. What I'll do is I'll just type it, landscape gardeners, and then we'll have London. Excuse my capital letters right here. There we go, got there again. So I will copy that. I'll go back to my spreadsheet. I'm going to copy this at the start as this is the main keyword. Landscape gardeners, London. I'm going to take this bit out right now. And what I like to do is put the brand name back at the end, green at home. And then I'll go for reliable this time. So as you can see, what I like to do is literally include a word at the start of the title tag, and this is going to allow us to stand out automatically from all the other standard SEO people that literally just go for landscape gardeners London and then have the brand name. Let's go ahead and put reliable back in. I mean, some other ideas of what you can use for trust signals. You can go for trustworthy, reliable, high quality, family run. These are all ideas you can use at the start of your title tag. But of course, just make sure you are under the 60 character count. So what I'm going to do is just copy this. We've got a double space there. Get rid of that. I'm going to copy that. Go back over to my tool. Just double check we're at 53 characters. So we're under 60, nothing to worry about whatsoever. The title tag is written naturally. I do have my keywords towards the front of the title tag. The title tag is also written naturally. In regards to single and other keyword variations, well, you can always go back to your keyword research analysis and just see if there's any other keywords you can have in there. So maybe the word architect is another variation we can get included in our title tag. However, as you can see, we've already got 53. We've only got 7 characters left. So instead of me trying to keyword stuff and get the word architect in here, it's actually going to be way more better if I include this keyword in one of our H1 or H2 tags on the actual page instead of trying to stuff it into our title tag. So essentially what you want to do is go ahead and rewrite the title tags for all of these title tags, as of course these are all over 60 characters. And then once you've done that, what you want to do is clear your filter and then have a look at the title tags that are below 60 characters and see if any of those can be rewritten following the 5 principles that we covered in the PowerPoint slides. So that is it for this one, and I'll see you in the next video.